The electric car market is booming, but not for everyone. While some EVs are selling faster than dealers can stock them, these 9 models are in freefall, with sales cratering, production being halted, and owners fleeing for the exits. Here are the electric cars that are collapsing in real time. Number 9. Audi Q4 e-tron. Audi built the Q4 e-tron to be its volume electric vehicle in America, and the collapse has been nothing short of spectacular. In the first quarter of 2026, Audi sold just 96 Q4 e-tron units across the entire United States, a staggering 95% decline from the same period a year earlier. That is not a typo. A vehicle that was supposed to anchor Audi's electric future in the world's most important luxury market managed to find fewer than 100 buyers in 3 months. Automotive News confirmed the figure alongside an overall Audi US sales decline of 30%, with the EV lineup taking the hardest hit across the board. Starting at $50,000 with an EPA estimated range of approximately 265 miles, the Q4 e-tron is not a terrible vehicle in isolation. The interior is well appointed, the ride is composed, and the Audi badge still carries weight in the luxury segment. But it has been utterly overwhelmed by competitors offering more range, faster charging, and lower prices. The Hyundai Ioniq 5 starts at $35,000 and delivers 318 miles of range with 800-volt fast charging. The Tesla Model Y starts at $41,000 with a supercharger network that no European brand can match. Against that reality, asking over $50,000 for 265 miles on a slower 400-volt platform is a losing proposition. CarEdge reports a market day supply of 180 days for the Q4 e-tron, triple the national average, meaning it takes 6 months to sell a single rotation of inventory. Audi has warned publicly that US sales could decline even further through the rest of 2026, projecting total brand volume of just 144,000 units for the year. For the Q4 e-tron specifically, the numbers suggest a model that may not survive in this market much longer. Number 8. Volkswagen ID.4. Volkswagen has pulled the plug on US production of the ID.4, and the sales numbers explain exactly why the automaker had no choice. In April 2026, VW ceased assembly of the ID.4 at its Chattanooga, Tennessee factory, choosing instead to refocus the plant on the gas-powered Atlas crossover that American buyers actually want to purchase. ID.4 sales collapsed 96% according to one analysis, and CarEdge ranks it as the second slowest-selling car in the entire country with a market day supply of 374 days. Drive Match's August data is even worse at 418 days, with 1,200 units sitting on lots and just 130 sold over a 45-day window. Consumer Reports named the ID.4 the least reliable vehicle in its entire database, documenting chronic failures in the battery, drive system, brakes, and onboard charging inverter. A recall covering 98,000 vehicles for defective door handles compounded the reliability disaster, with some owners reporting that replacement parts were also defective. The VW ID Talk forum is filled with owner testimonials describing multiple battery module replacements, complete rear motor failures, and software updates that bricked their vehicles. VW's decision to skip the 2027 model year for the ID.4 in the US effectively makes remaining 2026 inventory the last of its kind on American soil. Dealers are offering substantial discounts to clear stock, but mechanics and consumer advocates warn that the savings disappear the moment something breaks. Starting at an average transaction price of $46,000, the ID.4 costs more than a Chevrolet Equinox EV, a Hyundai Ioniq 5, or a Tesla Model 3, all of which offer superior range, charging speed, and reliability. The ID.4 was supposed to be the people's electric car. Instead, it became a cautionary tale. Number 7. Nissan Ariya. The Nissan Ariya lasted barely 3 years in the American market before Nissan killed it off, and the death was anything but sudden. Motor One reported that Nissan is discontinuing the Ariya for the 2026 model year, leaving the brand without an electric all-wheel drive crossover in the most competitive EV segment in the country. Automotive News confirmed the pause, with Nissan pulling the plug after sales never came close to meeting expectations. In its final full year of 2025, Nissan sold approximately 19,000 Ariyas, a figure that sounds respectable until you compare it to the Hyundai Ioniq 5's 20,000 units through just the first half of 2026. CarEdge now reports a devastating 630-day market day supply for remaining Ariya inventory, meaning it would take nearly 2 years to sell through existing stock at the current pace. The collapse was driven by a combination of aggressive pricing from competitors, limited brand awareness in the EV space, and a product that never quite differentiated itself enough to justify its $39,000 starting price. The 289 miles of EPA estimated range was competitive at launch, but fell behind as rivals like the Ioniq 5, Equinox EV, and Tesla Model Y pushed past 300 miles. Depreciation has been catastrophic, with CarEdge projecting the Ariya will retain only 36% of its value over 5 years, ranking it near the bottom of all vehicles. For buyers who still want one, the deals are remarkable, but the long-term ownership proposition includes uncertain parts availability, a shrinking dealer service network for the model, and resale values that continue to deteriorate. The Ariya had potential, but potential without execution is just another dead EV. Number 6. Tesla Cybertruck. The Tesla Cybertruck was unveiled to breathless hype in 2019, but by 2026 the hype has collapsed into one of the most dramatic sales implosions in automotive history. Tesla sold just 20,000 Cybertrucks in all of 2025, a 48% plunge from the 38,000 units delivered the year before. The freefall accelerated into 2026, with Q1 deliveries hitting a record low of just 3,500 units, and a rear-wheel drive recall revealed that only 173 of that variant had been sold, exposing shockingly low demand for the entry-level model. The Cybertruck has accumulated 11 NHTSA recalls covering virtually every major system, from a light bar that creates collision risk to windshield wiper failures, drive inverter malfunctions, and rear-view camera problems. Starting at $59,000 with an EPA estimated range of approximately 325 miles, the Cybertruck offers genuinely impressive specifications, but the execution has undermined buyer confidence at every turn. Tesla's own price adjustments, including a $1,000 increase for RWD and a temporary $1,000 price cut on AWD, signal a company struggling to find the right demand balance for a product the market has increasingly rejected. Number 5. Mercedes-Benz EQS. The Mercedes-Benz EQS was engineered to be the electric S-Class, the undisputed pinnacle of luxury electric motoring, but the American market has rejected it with a ferocity that has shaken the entire brand. EQS sales plummeted 52% in 2025, and the bleeding has continued into 2026, with CarEdge reporting a market day supply of 243 days, roughly 4 times the national average. Drive Match's August data shows just 59 units sold over 45 days with 318 sitting on dealer lots, translating to 246 days of supply. The depreciation story is even more devastating than the sales collapse. The EQS loses nearly half its value in the first year of ownership alone, shedding an average of $65,143 according to Arena EV. A YouTube analysis documented an EQS that depreciated over $80,000 in 3 years, falling from $118,000 to roughly $38,000 on the used market. That kind of value destruction makes the EQS one of the worst financial decisions in the luxury car segment. Starting at an average transaction price of $112,000, the EQS offers up to 350 miles of EPA estimated range and a genuinely stunning interior anchored by the optional 56-inch MBUX hyperscreen. The technology and engineering are world-class. But the unconventional exterior styling has polarized buyers, and Mercedes' decision to gate certain features behind subscription paywalls has generated fierce backlash from an audience accustomed to outright ownership of every feature. The broader Mercedes EV strategy is in crisis, with the EQB down 36% and the EQE lineup falling 39%. The EQS, as the brand's flagship, carries the symbolic weight of that failure most visibly. Number 4. Audi Q6 e-tron. The Audi Q6 e-tron launched into the American market with next-generation technology and immediately fell off a cliff that nobody at Audi headquarters could have predicted. Sales collapsed 90% in the first quarter of 2026, with just 318 units delivered, and the decline accelerated in subsequent months. By quarter 4, LinkedIn analysts documented a 98% year-over-year plunge, a unit decline of 9,800 vehicles. Audi's own leadership has publicly warned that U.S. sales could deteriorate even further, projecting total brand volume of just 144,000 units for the year. The Q6 e-tron was built on the premium platform electric architecture co-developed with Porsche, featuring an 800-volt system, rapid DC fast charging, and up to 321 miles of EPA estimated range. On paper, it should have been Audi's most competitive electric vehicle. In practice, it arrived at approximately $66,000 into a market that had shifted decisively toward value. The BMW iX3 launched at $61,000 with 434 miles of range. The Tesla Model Y offered 321 miles for $41,000. The Hyundai Ioniq 5 delivered 318 miles for $35,000. Against that competition, the Q6 e-tron's pricing looked disconnected from reality. Early lessees on forums reported software glitches, inconsistent charging behavior, and infotainment bugs that undermined the premium experience the price demanded. Audi has since canceled plans for the RS6 e-tron performance variant, citing weak demand for high-performance electric models. Dealers are scrambling to clear 2025 Q6 inventory before accepting 2026 allocations, creating a backlog that further depresses residual values. The Q6 e-tron represents Audi's finest electric engineering, stranded by pricing and timing that the American market simply will not accept. Number 3. Honda Prologue. Honda confirmed in July 2026 what the sales numbers had been screaming for months. The Prologue is dead after just 3 years. Car and Driver reported that the electric SUV registered only 8,400 sales in the first half of 2026, a 49% collapse compared to the same period in 2025. The Prologue's cancellation does not just end a single model. It leaves Honda without any electric vehicle in the United States, after the company simultaneously scrapped the 0 Series SUV and 0 Series Saloon that were supposed to launch on an all-new dedicated EV platform. Honda is walking away from battery electric vehicles in America entirely, at least for now. The Prologue's collapse was triggered by the expiration of the federal EV tax credit, which had been propping up demand for a vehicle built on GM's Ultium platform rather than Honda's own engineering. Without the $7,500 credit, the Prologue's value proposition crumbled overnight. Honda responded with desperation-level incentives, 0% APR for 72 months, up to $8,500 in lease cash, and price cuts of up to $7,500. Despite those offers, buyers continue to walk past the Prologue toward the Hyundai Ioniq 5, Tesla Model Y, and Chevrolet Equinox EV. Starting at $39,000 with 308 miles of EPA estimated range, the Prologue is objectively a good vehicle. But the shared Ultium platform meant it competed directly against the Chevrolet Blazer EV and Equinox EV at lower prices, while Honda's brand identity as an EV maker remained essentially non-existent. With 82,000 lifetime units sold, the Prologue was not a total failure. But it was never the foundation Honda needed to build an electric future. That future is now indefinitely postponed. Number 2, Rivian R1T. Rivian earned a perfect customer satisfaction score from Consumer Reports, but the same organization also ranked the R1T among the 10 least reliable vehicles in America, with a predicted reliability score of just 18 out of 100. That paradox defines the Rivian R1T in 2026. Owners who have one love it, but the reliability problems, declining sales, and financial pressure on the company are impossible to ignore. Rivian's U.S. sales fell 26% year-over-year in Q1 2026, dropping to 8,000 total vehicles from 11,000 the prior year. The decline marks the fourth consecutive quarter of falling deliveries, a trend that threatens Rivian's long-term viability as an independent automaker. Starting at approximately $69,000 with an EPA estimated range of around 270 miles, the R1T competes against the Ford F-150 Lightning, Chevrolet Silverado EV, and Tesla Cybertruck, all from manufacturers with vastly deeper resources and wider service networks. Rivian is pivoting toward autonomy and software services to improve its financial picture. But for buyers considering an R1T in August 2026, the combination of declining sales volume, below-average reliability, and uncertain long-term brand stability makes this a vehicle that demands extreme caution. Number 1, Chevrolet Blazer EV. The Chevrolet Blazer EV has experienced the single most catastrophic collapse of any electric vehicle currently on sale in America, and the numbers tell a story of a product that was rushed to market before it was ready. Sales cratered 82% in Q1 2026, plummeting from 6,000 units to just 1,000. The previous quarter was even worse, with Q4 2025 deliveries falling 77% to only 1,800 units. GM Authority raised the question publicly: is the Blazer EV next on GM's chopping block? The reliability nightmare that triggered this collapse is well documented. GM paused all Blazer EV sales in late 2023 over software quality issues, a humiliating admission for the company's flagship mid-size electric SUV. When sales resumed, owners immediately began reporting recurring, service high-voltage system errors that bricked vehicles with barely 1,000 miles on the odometer. One owner documented 3 complete high-voltage system failures in fewer than 3 months, with the car spending 29 of its first 45 days in the shop. Consumer Reports gave the Blazer EV a reliability score of just 19 out of 100, placing it among the least reliable vehicles in the country. The dealership general manager who sold that vehicle called it publicly a half-baked car that they rushed out. Starting at $44,000 with an EPA estimated range of up to 334 miles, the Blazer EV looks competitive on the spec sheet. But buyers are already paying $3,000 below MSRP on average, and used examples are appearing at steep discounts as disillusioned first owners exit their leases and loans. GM's Ultium platform shares the same high-voltage architecture problems across the Blazer EV, Equinox EV, and Cadillac Lyriq, meaning the underlying engineering challenges are systemic, not model-specific. The Blazer EV is the clearest example in 2026 of what happens when an automaker prioritizes launch dates over product readiness. And with this, we have reached the end of this video. Make sure to like it and subscribe the channel for future upcoming videos.